Three angels just revealed a terrifying secret about your FAMILYâ. Archangel Michael says, open this now. I speak to you now not to frighten you, but because heaven can no longer remain silent. Three angels have been standing close to you for a long time, closer than you realize, our wings brushing the edges of your thoughts, our light weaving through the quiet corners of your days and nights. We have watched your restless sleep, heard the unspoken prayers that rise from your heart like fragile incense, and witnessed the way your chest tightens, your breath catches, when thoughts of your own bloody your FAMILYâ, stir the shadows within you. Today, by divine command, we step fully into your awareness to unveil what has been hidden, for the weight of this secret has grown too heavy, pressing against the fragile walls of your destiny like a storm held back too long. Listen carefully, my child, with the ears of your soul, not just your mind. What you are about to receive is not a weapon to wield in hatred, nor a blade to sever ties in bitterness. It is a key, forged in heaven's fire, meant to awaken the light that has flickered within you, waiting for permission to blaze. Truth can feel terrifying only when it has been denied for seasons upon seasons, layered over like dust on a forgotten altar. But denial ends here, in this moment, as we, your unseen companions, lift the veil. For years, perhaps decades, you have carried an unease that defies explanation, a subtle ache that lingers like fog in the morning light. Moments when love felt not like a warm embrace, but a contract with invisible strings. Times when support morphed into pressure, heavy as chains disguised as encouragement. Seasons when your growth, your blooming into who you were created to be, seemed to disturb the very people who should have danced at your unfolding. You tried to reason it away, whispering to yourself in the mirror, this is normal. Every family has its thorns. You buried the doubt under acts of service, under forced smiles, under the myth of unbreakable bonds. But the unease never truly departed, because your spirit, eternal, wise, attuned to heaven's frequency, knew a truth your mind was not yet ready to embrace. It whispered in dreams, in sudden tears, in the hollow echo after family gatherings. And now, we amplify that whisper into a chorus. The first angel stepped forward, our presence shimmering like dawn on still water, and declared with gentle firmness, this family is not what it appears to be. Not because they are monsters cloaked in human schema. No, we do not paint with such crude strokes. But because patterns have been passed down like a shadowed inheritance, woven into the fabric of generations. Patterns of fear that masquerade as caution, control that poses as care, silence that festers as tradition, and jealousy that simmers beneath compliments like poison in sweet wine. What was done to Thema, the wounds inflicted by their own ancestors, the betrayals, the unhealed grief, was never fully confronted, never bathed in heaven's mercy. And what is not healed does not rest, it seeks to repeat itself, echoing through bloodlines like a curse without a name. You were born into this cycle, my child, not by accident, but by divine timing. A cycle that knows only how to dim light, to clip wings before they spread. It thrives in the dimness, feeding on unasked questions and unspoken pains. But you, you were never meant to inherit its chains. Your soul came clothed in radiance, destined to break what binds. The second angel drew nearer, our voice a soft melody against the roar of your doubts, and revealed, there is a role they assign to you without your consent, scripted in the silent scripts of expectation. You were cast as the eternal adjuster, the bearer of guilt that was never yours to carry, the forgiver of wounds you did not inflict, the explainer of truths they refused to see. Stay small, the role demanded. Dim your dreams so others shine. Endure the barbs wrapped in familiarity. Whenever you dared to pursuing a passion, claiming a victory, stepping into your power, the atmosphere shifted like a sudden chill. Smiles tightened. Words sharpened, you're changing. You're too sensitive. Who do you think you are, whenever you spoke your truth, raw and real from the depths, you were labeled dramatic, ungrateful, or lost in imagination. You're overthinking it, they said, as if your intuition were a flaw. This was not mere oversight, not the innocent friction of human imperfection. It was the system the fragile ecosystem of their unhealed world protecting itself from disruption. Your light exposed the cracks, and cracks fear the dawn. So they nudged you back, subtly, with sighs, with comparisons, with the weight of a family first. But heaven sees all, and we declare, that role was never yours. It was a costume too tight for your spirit's expanse. The third angel trembled as we approached this revelation, our light flickering with the sorrow of what must be said, for this pierces deepest, osum of your pain was not born of ignorance. It was intentional. Not always a deliberate malice, not always a villain's plot with hooded eyes and clenched fists. No, often it wore the face of the familiar subtle, woven into daily rhythms, cloaked in care. Intentional in the way they benefited from your uncertainty, from the way you second-guessed your worth. Your strength, your clarity, your unyielding inner fire threatened the old hierarchies, the thrones built on avoidance and pretense. Your questions peeled back layers they had long ago sealed shut. Instead of turning inward to face their own mirrors, they turned outward to dim you, quietly, persistently. A backhanded compliment here. A guilt trip there. Silence when praise was due. Comparisons that shrank your victories. Why can't you be more like, the implication that your joy was excessive, your needs burdensome. Do you remember those times, my child? The achievements minimized with a shrug, it's not that big a deal. The boundaries you set, mocked as selfishness. Raised you better than this. The seasons when you left their presence drained, soul parched like a traveler in a desert, yet racked with guilt for craving distance. Am I the problem? You wondered, curling into yourself. Those were not coincidences, not tricks of a sensitive mind. Your soul was reacting wisely, fiercely to an environment that could not, would not, fully celebrate the divine masterpiece you are becoming. It sensed the subtle sabotage, the energy vampires disguised as kin. And in those moments of exhaustion, heaven was already drawing near, preparing this message. Now hear this with crystal clarity, for fear will slither in to twist these words into weapons of division. Heaven reveals this not to condemn them, not to cast stones from ethereal heights. We do not judge as humans judge, with grudges and scorecards. Heaven reveals this to free you, to unshackle the chains you mistook for love. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his mighty sword lowered in restraint but his eyes fierce with unyielding protection, flames of justice dancing within. He leans close and thunders softly, the truly terrifying part is not what they did, my child. The terrifying part is how long you blamed yourself for it all. You questioned your sensitivity, wondering if you were too fragile for this world. You pondered if your emotions ran too deep, your intensity too much, your very essence overwhelming. So you tried harder, loving deeper, sacrificing more, shrinking smaller. You performed loyalty like a ritual, hoping it would summon the acceptance your heart craved. And still, something felt off, a discordant note in the symphony of family. That something was truth, knocking not with fists but with persistence, echoing from the chambers of your soul. Your family operates under unspoken agreements, covenants forged in pain and fear, avoid accountability at all costs, bury wounds under rugs of pretense, maintain appearances even if it costs authenticity. Don't talk about that. That's in the past. Family sticks together, no matter what. You were never meant to fit neatly into those agreements, my child. You were born as the disruption, the holy interrupter. The one whose very presence poses questions without words. Is this love, or is this control? Is this unity, or is this uniformity? Your healing threatens to expose what they refuse to face. The generational ledger of unpaid debts, the echoes of their own childhood shadows projected onto you. This is why resistance swelled when you began to change, when you chose growth over comfort. Confusion multiplied as you started prioritizing yourself, your peace, your path. True peace only visited when you imagined distancia. A walk alone in nature, a quiet evening without obligation. Though guilt trailed like a shadow. Your spirit was remembering, reclaiming its original design. Archangel Michael affirms, do not confuse revelation with rejection. You are not commanded to abandon your family in a blaze of anger, cutting ties with finality. You are being called to stop abandoning yourself in their presence. There is a vast difference. One leads to isolation, the other to liberation. The terrifying secret crystallizes here. If you continue denying what your soul already knows, intuitively senses in every fiber, the cost will be your destiny itself. Staying silent perpetuates the cycle, handing the script to the next generation. Staying small keeps you in their predictable, manageably but it imprisons you in a life half-lived, dreams deferred, purpose muted. Heaven cannot will not allow that any longer. We intervene now because your light is needed elsewhere, in the world, shining undimmed. You may notice the shifts already beginning, subtle as the first rains of monsoon. Conversations straining under the weight of unspoken truths. Energy warping when you hold your ground, asserting with quiet power. Accusations flying, you've changed. You're cold now. Who's filling your head with this? Let them speak. Their words are echoes of fear, not prophecies of your worth. Growth always appears as betrayal to those who profit from your silence, who draw sustenance from your dimmed state. But heed this, you are not alone in this sacred transition. The same three angels who unveiled the truth remain your guides, our presence a constant shield. We will teach you, step by tender step, how to love without losing yourself. Offering compassion from a distance, honoring your heart's boundaries. How to set limits without cruelty, firm as rooted oaks yet gentle as morning dew. How to walk away from manipulation's web without harboring hatred, choosing forgiveness for your peace, not their approval. Archangel Michael declares with authority, and cutting the cords of false responsibility right now. Feel a sudden lightness, a release like burdens lifting from your shoulders. You are not tasked with fixing what others refuse to acknowledge, not obligated to heal generational pain as some twisted proof of loyalty. Love that demands your self-destruction, that requires you to betray your soul for their comfort, is not love. It is fear wearing a familiar face, a mask of blood ties hiding insecurity. True family honors your flight, it does not clip your wings. There will come moments of grief, deep and aching, for the family you wished for. The one that cheers your every step, cradles your dreams, celebrates without envy. Let the tears flow, they are holy waters washing old illusions. Moments when memories soften the edges of truth, nostalgia whispering doubts, may be exaggerated. Maybe it's not so bad. In those times, return not to the mind's arguments, but to your body's wisdom. How does peace feel in their presencia euro, a calm sea or a storm-tossed wave? Exhaustion is your warning, a divine signal: retreat, recharge, realign. Your intuition is heaven's compass, more reliable than logic alone. Do not rush to confront, to lay bare your awakening in heated exchanges. Do not hurry to explain, demanding they see your light. Not everyone deserves such intimate access to your transformation. Some truths are shields, meant to protect your vulnerability, not invitations to debate or defense. Heaven orchestrates the timing, doors swing open where honesty is safe, met with receptive hearts, doors close firmly where it would invite punishment or denial. Trust the rhythm, we guide your steps. Beloved soul, hear us as we draw closer, our wings brushing the edges of your awareness, not to frighten you, but to steady you. What you have already received is only the opening breath of a much deeper revelation. We speak now slowly, gently, because what unfolds is meant to be lived, not rushed, felt, not merely understood. Do not measure what is coming to you by the scales of the world. The world weighs everything by noise, by speed, by applause, by numbers that shine briefly and then vanish. Heaven measures differently. Heaven begins inside you. What approaches your life is not first a visible reward, not an instant reversal that dazzles others, but alignment. Alignment is the quiet miracle. It is when your spirit, mind, and choices come back into harmony with why you were created. It feels like peace that does not depend on circumstances. It feels like clarity that does not argue with fear. It feels like integrity that no longer negotiates with what drains you. From this alignment, everything else flows without strain. You will notice relationships begin to soften, not because you forced apologies or demanded understanding, but because hearts respond to truth when it is carried without bitterness. Some connections will mend. Others will naturally loosen. Both are forms of grace. Purpose will rise within you, not as a heavy assignment that steals your breath, but as a quiet joy that gives you energy. You will wake with a sense of direction instead of dread. Provision will arrive, not as a dramatic rescue at the last second, but as a steady supply that teaches you trust. Prosperity will begin in your spirit, in your sense of worth and stewardship, and then it will find form in the physical world. Doors will open because you are finally ready to walk through them without abandoning yourself to fit inside. We urge you now with tenderness and with urgency, because this season responds to movement. Begin now. Do not wait for the perfect moment, for perfection has always been a delaying voice, never a divine one. Rise from these words with resolve, not fear. Fear keeps you staring at the ground. Resolve lifts your gaze just enough to take the next step. Set aside sacred time, even if it feels small and unimpressive. Heaven honors beginnings, not performances. Let dawn find you in prayer, even if your words stumble. There is no such thing as clumsy sincerity. Speak as you are. Write what you feel. Journal the ache that stirred inside you when these words found you. Do not analyze it away. Name it. Then write one step you will take today, not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, but today. Action seals revelation. When you share what heaven is doing in you, even quietly, even with one safe soul, courage multiplies. Not only in you, but in others who are silently longing for the same freedom yet do not know how to name it. Your obedience creates permission. Your healing gives language to wounds others have hidden for years. Surround yourself with reminders. Truth must live where your eyes can see it, because the mind forgets under pressure. Let words of life sit on your walls, your screens, your pages. Let worship replace the spaces where worry once echoed endlessly. Sound shapes atmosphere more than you realize. Seek community that sharpens your faith instead of dulling it, that celebrates growth instead of feeling threatened by it. When temptation tugs you backward, when old habits whisper comfort and familiarity, call on us without hesitation. Speak it plainly, without ritual or fear. Angels of alignment, strengthen my steps. We are dispatched instantly. You are never calling into emptiness. You have never been unheard. Resistance will rise. It always does when cycles are threatened. Old fears will whisper that it is too late, that you wasted years, that rest is safer than movement. Weariness will try to convince you that staying still is wisdom. Discern this carefully. True rest restores movement, false rest avoids it. Counter every lie with truth. Heaven's mercy renews itself every morning, not as poetry, but as law. Your soul was designed for this path, and it recognizes when it is moving in the right direction. Feel the pull forward. It is stronger now because you are stronger now. Momentum rebuilds quickly when obedience replaces hesitation. Picture what restoration looks like for you, not as fantasy, not as escape, but as wholeness. See habits transformed, not by force or shame, but because desire itself has changed at the root. See prayers answered not always loudly, not always dramatically, but consistently, in ways that leave no doubt of divine involvement. See blessings falling like rain on ground that was once cracked and dry, soaking in instead of running off. See the end of cycles where you started and stopped, hoped and collapsed, believed and withdrew. In their place, a steady rhythm forms. Grace and discipline walk together. Heaven and earth meet in your daily choices. See yourself carrying what is entrusted to you with humility and strength. You are not crushed by it, and you are not proud because of it. You are grateful. Your life becomes a quiet testimony, not of flawlessness, but of faithfulness. Others will look at you and sense something different. They will not always have words for it. They will call it calm, steadiness, depth. They will not know it was forged through courage, through saying yes when it would have been easier to stay silent. Through you, impact will ripple further than you imagine, touching lives you may never meet, shifting timelines you may never see. This is your moment, beloved. Not because everything is ideal, not because every wound has already closed, but because you are willing. Willingness is the doorway heaven uses most. The path is calling you by name. Step forward. We meet you there. Alignment restores what was scattered. It gathers what was lost. It heals what was broken without erasing the story that made you compassionate. And when alignment is restored, blessings follow naturally. Not because you begged heaven in frantic desperation, not because you proved yourself worthy through exhaustion, but because you are ready to carry what is released without losing yourself again. Heaven is already rejoicing. The sound you feel in your spirit is not pressure, it is celebration. Walk on. Do not look back with regret. Look forward with trust. We are with you, now and always. Now let us expand what has been hidden, so you may recognize the patterns fully and step free without confusion. Consider the fear that was passed down to you, subtle but persistent. The way caution slowly became control. Don't dream too big, ll fall. Words spoken as protection, but rooted in unhealed disappointments, in dreams they never mourned properly. Each time you reached upward, warnings pulled you back to the ground. Not because you were wrong, but because your flight stirred their unprocessed grief. Jealousy often wore the mask of concern. Praise came with a hook, good job, but remember who helped you. A Euro achievement was allowed only if it did not threaten the hierarchy. Your growth was celebrated only to the point where it remained manageable. Silence covered pain like a family blanket. Addictions were not named. Secrets were normalized. Shame became a shared language, and endurance was mistaken for strength. You were the one who asked questions, and questions disrupted the balance. When you spoke, discomfort rippled outward and returned to you as criticism, guilt, or withdrawal. This was not because you were wrong. It was because truth exposes what denial protects. These are the threads of the cycle, my child. And threads, once seen, can be unraveled by aware hands. Yours. Imagine your family system as a garden overgrown with weeds planted long before you arrived. They learned how to survive there. They learned which paths not to touch, which topics not to water. You arrived as a rare flower, vibrant, needing sun and space. Instead of nurturing your nature, they pruned you to fit the familiar rows. Yet heaven planted you there deliberately. Your roots were meant to till the soil, to disturb what was compacted, to draw nutrients from deeper places. You were meant to bloom in a way that forced confrontation with the wildness within themselves. Not all will respond. Some cling to weeds because weeds feel like home. Release them from your expectations. Your role is not to force their growth. That belongs to their free will. Your role is to thrive. Your roots go deep now, anchored in divine soil that cannot be poisoned by old patterns. As you navigate this, practical guidance flows from us. Begin each morning by inviting presence. A simple whisper is enough. A Euro angels, shield my heart today. A Euro protection does not harden you, it clarifies you. Practice boundaries softly at first. A Euro OE I love you, but I need space to heal. A Euro speak less, observe more. Truth reveals itself through patterns, not promises. When guilt rises, answer it with truth. A Euro OE I honor my Creator first. A Euro guilt that demands self-betrayal is not holy. Grief will come in waves. Grieve the holidays overshadowed by tension. Grieve the milestones met with indifference. Grieve the love you poured out like water onto stone. Do not rush this morning. Let it move through you. Write the recognitions. Name the minimizations. Acknowledge the guilt imposed on you for needing more. Release it. Burn the pages if it helps, offering even the ashes to heaven. Affirm daily, even when it feels unfamiliar. A Euro OE I am worthy of unfiltered celebration. A Euro your body will respond to this truth. Sleep will deepen. Energy will return. Synchronicities will increase, small confirmations that you are aligned. Doubt may whisper of isolation. A Euro Oho will I have left. A Euro heaven answers clearly, us, and legions more. True connections are forming even now. Friends who mirror your soul. Mentors who fan your flame instead of dimming it. Your family may evolve in time. Some may soften as your light reaches them from a distance. Others may resist. Release the outcome. Trust the Most High with what you cannot control. The terrifying secret resolves into a holy promise. The cycle ends with you. What was normal as a Euro, dimming yourself, enduring in silence, shrinking to keep peace. A Euro, stops here. It will not thread through your choices, your relationships, your legacy. What was silenced finds voice in your healing. What was twisted straightens under your courage, becoming a beacon for others still trapped in shadows. We stand with you as protection is traced over your path. Not in threat, not in violence, but in blessing. What lies ahead is guarded, the opportunities, the loves, the purposes unfolding step by step. We remain near, not as watchers of fear, but as witnesses of becoming. We cheer each step. We whisper encouragement in quiet hours. We intervene when shadows encroach closer than they should. You were never weak for feeling unease. That unease was your strength awakening. You were never wrong for sensing discord. It was FAMILYâ's alarm sounding through you. You were chosen to perceive because your spirit is fortified, able to withstand truth and still choose love. Not conditional love that demands erasure, but real love that frees, that honors truth, that begins with self-respect. Breathe deeply now. Inhale peace. Exhale old tension. You are safe. You are surrounded by wings that do not tire. Sight has been restored. You step into the dawn of your destiny, not alone, not late, not unprepared. We remain, ever near. Your awakening has only just begun, and heaven delights in walking every step with you.